To Indivisible Las Cruces General Meeting. Great to see everybody. My name is Pam Hett. I'm on the steering committee. You'll meet other members of our steering committee, and we got our little tags. So if you have a question or want to talk to somebody, please always feel free to do that. For who do we have that are new here? Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you. So we always want to talk about, who is Indivisible? What is Indivisible? Well, we are indivisible. All of us around the tables. We're the group that is resisting Trumpism and all the fascism, Project 2025, and electing progressive candidates that are going to do what we need them to do. So that's our job and our responsibility. So that's why Indivisible Las Cruces was originally formed back in 2017 when the original Leah and Ezra put together the Indivisible Guide. And then that was a great group. And then when President Biden got in, it sort of waned a little bit. And then again in January 20th, when all heck broke loose, we said, okay, we got to do something. And we contacted the prior Indivisible group. They gave their blessings, and we have just run with it. And it's all been through your help. So we appreciate that. And we honor our original members and say thank you. So, there are 22 of us that just came back, and I see Linda's just coming through here, that we went to the Indivisible, New Mexico Indivisible United Conference. And it was our state conference where there were all indivisibles. There's almost 33 of us in the state of New Mexico. We all met up in Albuquerque, and I wanted to, we had a ton of information that was given to us. We had fantastic speakers, Gabe Vasquez, Melanie Stansberry, we had Raul Torres, we had Stephanie Garcia Richards. I mean, it was amazing. So I'd like to see if any of the people that went and came up and made the long drive back home to make this meeting, if anybody wants to come up and give their impressions.
Please do. Right there.
Please, go right ahead.
So, I've been to a couple of conferences, and usually just kind of survive them. This was not that. This was just fantastic. Everything, everybody there, it was just excellent. When I left, the two checkout girls said, "Who were you guys?" And so I had to give them the spiel. My favorite, and that's really a hard list to hit the top of, was a woman named Rachel Bittercoffer. Bitecoffer. You gotta look her up. If you're upset that we're not doing enough, she knows what to do and how to do it and why to do it. So anyway, the best of a really, really good group of people. Not only the presenters, but the way it was organized. Kudos to the Albuquerque group, which only has 800.
Yeah, 800. We've got 1,100 on our mailing list.
1,100 members here, only 800 in Albuquerque. That said, they did an excellent job putting on a very, very good. So next year, put it on your list. Thank you.
Next year, have it here.
Anybody else want to make a comment that went up there? Yes, please. And then, Al, you can come up if you want.
I'm just going to reiterate what Pam already said. There were so many wonderful speakers. We could all stand up here and talk about it for a long time. The Rachel woman was not only fabulous and very smart and knew her stuff, but she's also very funny. She can be a stand-up comedian. She's really was very entertaining. But I'm gonna just say that I had to drive back here, but I was by myself, and I did a lot of thinking. And the thing that hit me, and it was Rachel, but it was everybody, besides the energy, is that the party needs a new strategy. We all are nice people. We want to be nice people. We want to love all groups and individuals, and that's a wonderful thing. But we need a strategy, because if we don't win, we don't get to do the things that we want to do. And we shouldn't lose our souls to win, and that isn't the point. But the point is, and the one that Rachel made is we gotta get mean, and we have to have a new strategy. I mean, we can't. So that's what I left with. I left with resurgence of how do we get the party, not here even in Las Cruces, but how do we get the people at the head of the Democratic Party to understand that we need a new strategy. And we can't keep doing what we've been doing, because it ain't gonna get it done. And that's what I left with. Anyway, thank you.
That was coming up.
I'm a 75-year-old guy. I've been to a lot of conferences. And I gotta tell you, this is one of the best conferences I've ever went to. The information was unbelievable and presented in a way that everybody could understand it. As she said, the author had a book, what was it, If It Hurts? I'm trying to think of the title of the book.
I even bought it, but I didn't bring it.
Okay, but anyway, it's a great book.
It's called
And
Get Up Where It Hurts.
yeah,
How to Save Democracy by Beating Republicans.
and all I can say is, we all remember when Michelle Obama said, if they go low, we go high. Well, the philosophy here was, if they go low, we go lower. And that was a thing that just drove home the point, is that we can't be nice guys. We can't do, we're not going to go there, we're going to do everything by the book. Well, if they're not doing it by the book, we're going to lose every single time. So the message that came out of that conference was, you got to drive home the point that whatever they're doing, we're going to go one grade lower and we're going to sock it to them. And that's what I got out of that conference. And as I said, it was a super great conference, well organized, well run, plenty of speakers. Our Secretary of State is unbelievable. There was a thing from the Trump administration that wanted everybody's ID, your social security number, your name, your address, what political party you're with, that they want to have. And she said, well, I'm not giving it to you. And so far, her and the state of Colorado are so far too that said, we're not giving you that information. And the only state so far was Wyoming that has given all the information about the registered voters in the state. But like I said, it was well run, well organized, and people were just absolutely great. Thank you.
Keep going with the agenda, please.
So what I took away from Speaker Rachel was, with all due respect to Michelle Obama, if they go low, we step low.
And then lastly, the collaboration between all the Indivisibles. We're going to be working very closely with all of them, pretty much on three major issues. One is immigration, second one is healthcare, and the third one is water. So we'll be working on those things as we put together like 3 different caucuses. Doesn't mean you can't work on something else, but we want to use our now collective strength of 30-some indivisibles and start knocking on legislators' doors and saying, now you got to pay attention, because we've got over 2,100, almost 3,000 indivisible members throughout the state of New Mexico. So stay tuned. Okay, so, the other thing was the Doñana County Board meeting. This is something that we just added to the agenda now. Tuesday at 9 a.m. at the county board in the municipal building on Motel. They are having a session where they're going to talk about this multi-billion dollar data center that they want to put here in Doñana County, mostly AI driven, and it's going to have a huge impact on our water and our electricity. So we are asking a call to action for anybody who wants to come to that meeting. We don't have, it's been one of those things that has been so low under the radar. We really don't have a lot of good information. So we want us all be there, well, as many as can be there. Start asking some hard questions. Tell them, you gotta let us know. How's this water gonna be working? Where are you gonna get it? Is El Paso Electric gonna give you all this, free electricity? Who's owning this place? Who's the black, gray money behind all this type of stuff? And so if you're available on Tuesday, 9 a.m. is when the meeting starts. Please feel free, and then afterwards, maybe we can come up with some strategy if we need to do follow-up meetings or letters or postcards or whatever. Does that make sense? Okay. And any additional research we find, we'll be posting it and sending it out.
Where?
The county building on Motel. It's the Doñana County building. It's on Motel in their auditorium, 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Yes, Jim?
Everyone should wear the same color to show group
Solidarity? Okay.
whatever color we're wearing.
I mean, if you got your Indivisible T-shirt, feel free to wear that. That would be a good thing to do. What? Well, if you got the beige one that we just got from Indivisible, if you got the one like Mary's got, and Phil's got the Indivisible one. Yeah, so just having our presence there is going to be important. Oh, yes.
So,
Wait, she's got to get the mic, please. Wait, he'll get the mic to you.
Yes.
So what is the decision power that county government has over location of this data center here?
We need to find that out. Again, they have kept this so low under the radar, we really don't have a lot of information. So that's why we want to go out there and find out all these questions. So between now and Tuesday morning, as you're having your coffee, write down what questions you want answered. Absolutely. Okay, Teresa, you want to talk about the movie tickets?
Hi everyone, my name is Teresa Valenzuela, and we're going to show a trailer of the next movie that we're screening.
ICE is everywhere. The border is everywhere. For us, for immigrants.
Everyone in that team knew what the border was inside of them.
What if we knew the infrastructure that Hitler was building before World War II? What would we do with that knowledge?
So that you go from your house to your Dunkin' Donuts and you pass a detention facility, you don't even know that it exists.
The infrastructure that was being prepared.
That was
was
the
being
endgame.
prepared for massive separations, massive deportations.
That was the ending. We kept saying that's the ending.
What does the removal of 12 million look like?
I want to believe that the judge is going to allow me to stay here in the country, but if he doesn't allow me, he has to know that I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight hard.
The system is geared towards, like the old cowboy movie, give him a trial, and then we hang him.
Put the camera down.
Give him due process, and then we deport him.
If you accept the militarization of the border as we are doing it,
then nothing is gonna stop any other crazy agenda in the future. To militarize Chicago, Los Angeles, New York.
You will always, in their eyes, be the enemy.
Ahí nos hacen entender que no valemos nada en este país.
A eso no tiene por qué estar asustándolos, intimidándolos.
La gente que está en el Capitolio no necesita estar sentada aquí, porque tiene todos los recursos, porque tiene todo el dinero.
Nothing bothers power more than you looking at their dollar signs.
It wasn't just a story about Trump and a few Republicans. All of the U.S. political scene were engaged in this activity.
We have to look at what's happening right now in the United States. In this particular historical moment, the imminent danger is the rise of fascism. It threatens all of us. It threatens the promise of the United States. For all its flaws, it still promises something. And it's something that we have to keep on fighting for.
Thank you. So, Kathy, Laney, and I were able to watch this movie back in March, and we knew that this is something that you all needed to know. It came out in 2024, last fall, but you notice some of what they were saying is happening right now, right? They're militarizing those cities. So it will be at the Fountain Theater. The tickets are $15 a piece. There are 80 tickets left. We can only sell 100. It is a fundraiser for Indivisible Cruces, and it is a fundraiser for the producers of this movie because they're already working on their next documentary featuring the immigration issue. So we invite all of you. I'll be outside selling tickets today.
Is it gonna be in Spanish?
No, we ordered, that was just a trailer that was pulled down. I ordered the English version, so you will be able to understand. And they may have the caption in Spanish. They also have it in bilingual, but I assume for most of our attendees, English would be the focus. So, yes, I'm selling tickets outside. Sorry, I can't say enough. I hope that you'll be willing. There's data there. You notice where he talked about, it's not just Republicans that are making money off the prison industrial complex. Democratic politicians are also, which may be why they're so quiet around the issue of immigration. So a lot of data is very well researched. The two protagonists, their stories began here at the El Paso port of entry. You saw the young woman, Gabriela, and her husband was deported. We were hoping, she still lives south of us, we were hoping to get her to be part of a panel that we're having afterwards. She hasn't responded to my emails, and so I'm wondering if she just has to lay low herself right now. I don't know. But Border Servant Corps will have a representative on the panel, and also Crystal Massey, who is organizing through the Las Cruces Diocese visitors to go to Otero County Detention Center, and we have someone here that already went. I don't see her today. And also, so that's on Tuesday, Thursdays. You can sign up to actually accompany immigrants into the courthouse in El Paso. But if you're interested in doing those two actions, see me and I'll give you Crystal's email. And I think that's all I have to say about, well, I have a lot to say, but that's all I'll say right now. And so I also need to see Rebecca Powers and Karina Oberman. And then if they're here today. And also ticket sales, cash, or a check made out to the Indivisible Project. So, and Fountain does not have, they are not selling tickets, it's not on their calendar. They are using their social media?
Justice.
Their social, like their Facebook and their Instagram. Thank you, social media. It's been a long weekend. So, they're really supporting it. What I'm hoping is we have a sellout crowd, and Fountain brings it back for a whole week on their calendar. So please, let's show it strong and, learn more about this issue. Thank you.
Questions, anyone? Questions, anyone?
Excellent, okay. I'd like to introduce Alice Benjamin. She's on our steering committee, and everybody agreed at our last meeting about a food drive, so she wants to give you some additional information.
Hi, everybody. After that, I think we all need to do a little...
Speak louder.
Whoops. I was saying, after that, I think we all need a couple of seconds to just go, oh, man. Teresa is fabulous. Anyway, I was in touch with Buddy Aiken, who's in charge of the pantry here, and I asked him to send me a little blurb so that he would understand. You all said you wanted to donate the food, but I'd like to give you a little bit more information about the pantry itself. So the pantry is dedicated to providing weekly food support for people living with HIV/AIDS and PLH/WHA living in Doña County. The referrals are accepted from the New Mexico Department of Health, Alianza of New Mexico, and area physicians who treat PLWHA. Funding is provided in part from the New Mexico Community AIDS Partnership and from grassroots fundraising. The pantry operates under the nonprofit umbrella of, and is also a ministry partner of, the First Christian Church of Las Cruces. The pantry is open to clients every Saturday, noon to 2, and by appointment. So if you know anyone who that it might help, you might want to pass that information on. Also, I'm assuming most people know about the rally that we're going to have on the 30th. Woo! We're going to be collecting school supplies at the rally. So Teresa has arranged, she's going to have some like big buckets that we had for other drives at the different rallies. So we'll have somebody taking care of that. And what we're asking for is if anybody wants to volunteer, and all they need to do is just stand by the barrels and help people, when they're bringing them and put them in the barrels and all that. So if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll have a sign-up sheet outside. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, Phil, do you want to talk about the resistance posters that you got in your hands down there?
Yeah. He's getting more posters.
I know, it's awesome. This is going to be a fantastic event.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you all very much for being here again and again and again. And thank you, I want to give a big shout out to Steve! Stand up, Steve. He was our traveling microphone man last meeting. Thank you so much, Steve, for filling in. So I just have a few announcements to make. Well, quite a few actually. First of all, I just want to mention that FCC has been very generous to us here. We have the events every, 2 Sundays we have our general meetings, plus we have events almost like probably every Thursday now, here. And we pay hardly anything for our rent. And that will change because we're contributing more because they really deserve it. But I also want to give a big shout out to their Weaving for Justice group that has their sales here. It's the 3rd Saturday of every month here from 10 to 3 o'clock. If you've never been, it's very, very cool. The weavings and the embroidery work is outstanding, and they've got a huge selection of items to pick. Very well priced, great for gifts. So that's the 3rd Saturday of each month, 10 to 3, Weaving for Justice.
So, some of the things that I wanted to announce also, that we're going to have another poster making event this Thursday. So if you want to make more posters to contribute to the big event of the at the gallery show, the exhibit, you can make some there, or you can use them for the protest on Saturday the 30th. So our theme so far is make it work and release the Epstein files. Okay? We need to have those Epstein files released. We can't just let them get off by not, they can't ignore it, or he can't ignore it. So every podcast that I've listened to, they mention about the Epstein files. They said, this is Stacey Abrams saying, we don't need to directly attack Trump on this. Let the MAGA folks do it, because they're already, suspicious about what's going on, and they have reason to. So we can just kind of nudge it along by just mentioning, Epstein files. But we're going to make it work, because this is Labor Day weekend. Okay. Oh, you get it. Thank you. The poster event is going to be this Thursday from 2 to 7, and it's going to be here as we've been having it all along. So, next thing I want to talk about is the event as the City of Vargas Art Projects. That was called, Vargas Art Projects. And that's located at 221 North Main Street. It's right by the Rio Grande Theater. So that event is going to be all these posters that people have been making, all the protest posters. And so far we've had an incredible showing already of people contributing. I think we've got about close to 200 pieces at least. And two of the pieces are from these 3 women from Deming who are in their 80s and 90s. And they drive down here and they go to the Santa Teresa for the protest. 2 big signs that are 10 feet long by 2 feet high, and they're works of art. They are beautiful. We want you to be part of that show, as well as all of this. Everyone has a message to say. You can keep it as simple as you want. We just need that message out there. So what a great event for the community of Las Cruces to see that we are here and we ain't taking it. So we need everyone to participate, and we look forward to you participating by going to the show, going to the big reception that we're going to have on Friday, September 5th. That's going to be at First Friday over at Vargas Art Project Studio Space. We'll have food and sangria, I believe. So bring your IDs, okay? So the thing to help make this event successful is I'm going to need some volunteers. Volunteers to do the installation of all this work. Cecilia will be the guide. She has, in her past experience of 25 years working in Chicago, done a lot of installation work. So she's done over 200 shows. So maybe nothing quite like this, but we're going to be using her eyes so she knows what's happening. We just need to have follow her lead and take directions from her, whether we're hammering into the wall, or we're attaching to the wall with tape, or hanging it from the ceiling. She's got it all worked out. So we appreciate anyone who would like to be a installation volunteer to please see me in the back after the meeting, okay? And I'll make the announcement towards the end of the meeting as well. See me in the back. The other thing that we're going to need some help with is to distribute the flyers that we have made to announce the show, the event, and so we need to go around to all the, 5 coffee shops, how many more coffee shops we have here, but other businesses that are willing to take our announcements. We're also going to be having postcards for you to distribute to your friends, and we'll get those to you somehow, maybe at the protest. Postcards are 4x6. One is an image of the poster that we're doing. Lucy, where are you, Lucy? Lucy, you're not here? Wrestler?
I didn't see it.
Oh, Lucy's not here. Anyway, we used one of her images, or part of her image, and on the other side of the postcard is going to be the announcement of where the event and time is located. Let me see. So that is all of that. So I need some help also with the distribution of the flyers. See me in that as well. The next thing we're going to have is we're going to have the Politics and Peace of Mind will be meeting on September 18th. That is a Thursday. Politics and Peace of Mind meeting from 2 until 3:30. That meets here. I believe there were 6 of us the last time that we met, and I thought it was a pretty good.
It was great. No, it was great. You did a great job.
Well, the other people did the job.
When is it?
That's going to be Thursday, September 18th, 2 to 3:30. There'll be an announcement on Facebook, Instagram, emails as well. The other thing that we're needing is we are needing a volunteer, again, see me after the meeting, to oversee and coordinate all of our promotion activities. That could be Facebook, Instagram, doing PSAs for like Live, Love, Lust, Cruces. We have quite a bit to do, and we are getting kind of swamped as we have more and more activities. So if someone would like to volunteer to coordinate that, please see me at the end of the meeting. Okay, so think about that. We also need a graphic designer who would like to do some work for us. I'm hoping that the graphic designer wouldn't spend more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes on the request, but please see me on that as well. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. That's awesome.
You're wearing a hat.
Okay, as he brought up the August 30th protest that we're having, I submitted our sound permits, the application permit, the liability insurance, and the $50 to the Parks and Recs before I left for Albuquerque. So we should be absolutely taken care of. So we're good to go. Again, it's going to be at Albert Johnson Park from 9 to 11. We'll start setting up at 8 in the morning, 8:15. So if anybody can help us set up. Similar to No Kings, we'll have tables available. I have Witness at the Border has said that they wanted to have a table. Indivisible Las Cruces will have a table. We've got a couple other people that I've invited that were there for No Kings that will have a table in that center area. So we'll be good with that. We're going to do a school supply drive. And Teresa was very helpful in contacting the Las Cruces public school system. And they have, what would you call it, like a pantry?
Well, they have a family service center.
It's a family service center. So if a child comes there and does not have school supplies, they are given school supplies. So no child feels embarrassed by going to school because they don't have their crayons or their paper. And this can be for undocumented children also. It's not like, oh, you have to show your ID in order to get your pencil. So we are very happy to support this. So on the screen, you'll see sort of a list of supplies. We put it in our Facebook group. We've emailed it out. So if you could bring those supplies, that would be very, very helpful. The other thing is, I really want to remind people that all of our rallies are to be non-violent. Yes. Indivisible, national, and we get a lot of leeway with Indivisible, but our names are on there as Indivisible. So they want to make sure all of our protests and rallies are non-violent and that there is de-escalation of any aggressive behavior. Now I know everybody in this room has been very, very good, and we have an excellent relationship with the Las Cruces Police Department, and I know a lot of people will have some issues with that too, but I want to make sure that we stay well within our bounds of free speech, because we have a right for free speech, but please, if you see somebody being like just too obnoxious, ornery, and gonna make a problem and be aggressive, say something. We do have safety monitors there. They're keeping their eyes and ears open so they can see that, and they will take care of it because we're not gonna tolerate it. Sorry, just end of story.
How do we find those safety monitors?
I've got some vests that they can have, and they know who they are and they keep their eyes and ears open. But yes, we'll have vests and things like that. Does that make sense? Because we want to keep you guys safe too. Phil, or who's got the microphone? Got a question back there? We'll be right with you.
Along that note, Pam,
Yeah.
it's not a dig at anyone, but a lot of our people are very passionate. And not only are we on the sidewalk at the edge of the road, some people are hanging out over the road with their signs. I know several times I've said, please come back away from the road. It's very dangerous on that corner with cars turning the corner, they're trying to watch for other cars. And if we have our people, hanging out in the road, I'm just afraid someone's going to get hurt. So appreciate the enthusiasm, but you're giving me a heart attack here.
Yeah, and we've got liability insurance, but I don't want to use it. So please don't accidentally, step into the sidewalk. We're going to have a cooling tent. We'll have water. We've got some musicians. I think Daniel's going to talk about that.
Yeah, we have some great musicians. In spite of our big crowd that was up in Albuquerque, and we greatly appreciate what they were doing, we held the fort down here. We had our Saturday morning protest, and then in the afternoon we went over to Mountain View Hospital area where they're going to build the new Women's Health Center, and there was an anti-abortion protest there. And I would have to say this whole thing was one of the more aggressive kinds of settings. There were people like really in your face on kind of a little bit on both sides. And it's easy, that becomes contagious, and the crowd gets worked up and they have a problem. The one thing I want to tell you about that is there, when we arrived, we were told that it's called Rio Grande Hematology and Oncology Infusion Center. We were told that we were not allowed to be in their parking lot. They were only allowing the anti-abortion people to be there. So maybe you ought to consider, if you need any medical care, stay away from there and tell your friends. They're not friendly to our values. The second thing I want to say for Saturday, this coming Saturday, I've acquired 2 misting fans. We're going to set up a tent, and it blows a nice, cool, damp breeze, and if anybody starts getting overheated, go to that tent and cool off, because they really work well. I've been taking one to our Saturday morning things, and everybody comes and they get in it, and they say, ooh, feels pretty good.
And we have our nurses, we've had 3 volunteer nurses, and they talk amongst themselves, and we've got one that's going to be covering Saturday. So we'll have all first aid kit, we'll have our misting tent, we'll have our nurses, so we'll have some water, but make sure you bring your water, dress for the weather.
The third little thing is, I just learned about this weekend. I think we're all kind of itching to get into a little good trouble. And so what I read was that people, and I'm only suggesting this for Anglos to do this. I'm not going to suggest for Hispanic people to do it because the risk is high. But get yourself a Mexican flag bumper sticker and put it on your car, because that is a red flag to ICE, and they're stopping people. We can waste their time by getting
Questions? Jan's got a question.
We don't put out fires with water. We put it out with gasoline.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a little civil disobedience. It's not violent, but it disrupts things. Just standing on the sidewalk is good, but something more is better. But it can't just kind of happen. It should be planned. So if any of you are interested in upping the activity, not this time, because I'll be out of town. Besides, it takes planning. But if you're interested, let me know.
Excellent. Beth, you have a question?
One of the things that I noticed at the corner.
You gotta be a little louder, please.
At the corner on Loman, and it kind of bothered me.
Can you stand up, Beth?
Sorry. One of the things I noticed at one of the protests we have on Loman, somebody was doing bubbles and it was going on to Loman, and I just thought that was dangerous.
Oh, okay.
So that was like.
Okay, keep the bubbles in the parking lot, I guess, as best as possible. Okay, if anybody's got any other questions regarding the rally, invite your friends, acquaintances.
I have a question. Have any unions been contacted?
Yes, I have contacted the unions.
Like AFSCME, yes.
Yes, I have contacted AFSCME, the electrical, the plumbing. Mary talked to the NEA. Who else did I talk to? Firefighters of Doñana County, the municipal employees, and crickets. I mean, literally, I haven't gotten any response. Mary's contacted, so we're hoping their people show up, and we've invited them as speakers. Yes?
Do we contact the media? KVIA used to cover live a lot of our events for the original.
Yes.
Great.
Barbara does a media release that goes out. It's already gone out. Literally, like 2 days after we announce a rally, I got it out to Barbara, and she sends it out to all the media. And we've got
used to show up all the time.
Telemundo. Telemundo. I mean, she's got her list of people that she sends to. And this is also where, as Phil talked, and we in the steering committee talked, if we could have a coordinator that could help with a lot of that, that would be good from a media standpoint.
And the bulletin will also cover if we give them notice.
Yeah, we've set it out.
Okay.
So.
No one from NMSU for the teachers unit that was just formed.
So we'll but just invite your friend. And then, who knows why, but maybe they'll show up. But they've been invited to the best of my ability.
Hold on.
Last question. Any other question?
Pam, do you know Rachel's last name? The one everybody talked about?
Thank you.
Hold on, please.
Okay, yeah.
Is there going to be a food drive at the rally?
No, the food drive is more here. We're doing the school supplies for the rally.
I just want to know Rachel's last name that they talked about.
Bidikoff? Bidkoff.
B-I-T-C-O-F-E-R.
B-I-T-C-T-E.
And I'm not there. It's like fight, copper.
Okay.
There. B-I-T-E-C-O-F-E-R.
B-I-T-C-O-F-E-R. Rachel. You can get her book online. Her book sold out in the little bookstore that we had at the conference like within 5 minutes. It was amazing.
She was fabulous.
Yeah, she was good. Okay, I want to just talk about the candidate introduction night, and that's going to be on September 4th. So we've got that. Right now, we have the 3 candidates of the school board, and for the city council, I don't know if anybody knows, but Becky Coran has said she wants to run again. So they will be invited. We're going to know by the 26th, August 26th, who is, finally going to get their not petitions, but their certifications for the election, and we will be inviting them to the candidate night, so all of them. At the conference, Friday, we had a meet and greet for the candidates for statewide elections, and I got to talk to a lot of those and extended them to come down on the 4th, and many of them just had, schedules were awful. So what we're going to do is, we got 2 meetings in September, 2 in October. I'm going to give them those dates, and if they can make it at our meeting, we'll give them their 5-7 minutes to tell us where they stand, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. So we're going to keep it pretty fluid, but we'll get Secretary of State and Governor and the Land Commissioner and Lieutenant Governor. So we're going to be offering that to them, and I'll also offer it to them in Zoom. So kids' schedules, all the schedules are difficult. If they say they can do a Zoom on a Sunday, I'm more than willing to offer it just so you guys get the information. Bill, we got a question here, and then Linda got a question.
Who has a question?
Right here, and then Linda.
If you could stand up there, hold it up.
My question is, when you say candidate night, do you mean candidate afternoon 2 to 4? Or are we doing candidate night?
It's in the evening from 6 to 7:30.
The same date?
Yeah, the 4th.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
yeah. It's going to basically replace our education night that we usually do during the, yeah.
It's here, man?
Yes, it's here at First Christian, and we're going to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to say, at the meetings, at the conference, extremely important positions, land commissioners, very important, Secretary of State, the new, all these positions that we've kind of just blown off in the past are really, really important now. It needs to be a clean sweep. So don't write off the guys that we didn't think were important. They really, really are. Everybody stressed that. Yeah. And the format for our candidate night, okay, Sherry, you had a question?
I didn't have a question. So Rachel Bitkoffer's book is called Hit 'em Where It Hurts: How to Save Democracy by Beating Republicans at Their Own Game.
And it's on Amazon.
And if you look her up, she's listed as a political scientist.
Google it, maybe you can find it somewhere else.
Wasn't she an original project?
Where can you get things if you don't use Amazon? I don't use Amazon.
Barnes and Noble could be an option.
Barnes and Noble.
Google it and see what other opportunities there are.
You can order that book from the Sia Book Center. It's right on the plaza. It's an independent bookstore. It's a fabulous bookstore. That's what I would recommend.
Okay, good.
I'm going to school with Cheryl. Cheryl Bowler. Yes.
Alice at Moonbow has a little bookstore in her shop. You know what I mean? She's the seamstress over off Idaho. But she does and it's usually a lot of them local and political stuff.
Okay, good.
It's called Moonbow. Moonbow. It's she does seamstress work.
Moonbow!
Moonbow. Yeah.
Not.
All right, any other last minute question?
What other news about Rachel?
It's on Idaho. Moonbow. What's her first name? Alice? 90 years old. Oh my God.
Linda
She's still doing it.
Linda had a comment.
Oh, she has books. Political books. They moved. I'm hearing Diane just telling me they moved. Okay, Diane said the books have been moved elsewhere to, of all places, Canada. Wow. And so maybe she'll be able to still assist. Maybe give her a call. Moonbow. Coas, C-O-A-S, can order it also for you.
Now,
We know what Coas?
Rachel has a podcast called The Election Whisperer, which is so Rachel. I mean, she is very witty.
Okay, back to the candidates introduction night. What we're going to do is the format's going to be just introducing the candidates. We'll start out with the public school candidates. Mary will do the introductions. Then they're going to give their 5 minutes spiel of what their accomplishments have been, what they want to do, all that type of stuff. Then we're going to open it up for your questions. We'll have some prepared questions, but please think about, if you got grandkids in school or anything like that, or on the city council side, if you got a question, we're opening it up after each candidate so that you can have your question and then we'll move on to the next candidate and the next candidate. And we're going to do that again for the city council one. So I think it will be an excellent opportunity to invite your friends, anybody who really wants to know what their representative is going to do in the city council if they're elected or re-elected, and what the school board people are going to do as they move forward, because they've been very, very helpful and we need to support them. Any questions about that? Allison.
Hi. When you say it will be opened up to questions after every candidate,
yes.
Are those questions going to be answered by all of the candidates still? Or are we doing one candidate goes up, gives a spiel, and then questions?
That's how we had thought about it. But if you think we should do it where, we could have specific questions for each candidate, and then at the end, if we want to have a general one where they all have to answer it, that's fine too.
Yeah, and also with the just with general 501c stuff as well, like we deal with this having candidates on KTAL. The way you're generally supposed to do it in the eyes of the what's the FEC? That's
yeah.
the one. Is all candidates need to be put on a level playing field. So
yes.
the questions that are asked should be asked to every single candidate, so that everyone can hear all of the candidates' answers to those questions.
Okay.
And I can talk to you more about this
right.
later.
And we're not going to, there's no food or monetary in-kind donations or anything like that, because we can't do that.
Allison, you mentioned KTAL, is that correct?
KTAL.
KTAL, does everybody know what KTAL is?
Okay, so that's the format for the candidate night. We'll still work a little bit on that. But the idea was to make sure you get the candidates here, all the candidates here, you get to ask your questions and find out where they stand. That's just the best way to do it. Okay, before we move on, you got your key dates you talked about. And then, anybody got any community announcements before we talk about the final results of the 1 Million Rising?
I got one announcement also. I forgot to mention that we are having our Latinos Moving Forward group that we're going to be meeting on September 10th. We are meeting on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month over at Good Sam's. And I will need your contact information back here. Again, the Latinos Moving Forward. And maybe Latinos and Friends, or Latinos and Allies, probably Allies might be better, Moving Forward. And again, that's going to be at Good Sam's 2nd and 4th Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Nancy had a question, and then Jim comes up.
No, this is just jumping back to an earlier part of the conversation. Rachel Bitcoffer, the book, I believe it's also on thriftbooks.com.
Okay, yeah, okay. Jim has some announcements.
Last time I mentioned that the voting for the permanent absentee registration portal was not open. It is now open. You can register people to vote by mail through this QR code. They do not need a pen, they do not need an envelope, they do not need a stamp. They can do it in less than 5 minutes, and you can make them do it while you're right there. You need to know that people that vote by mail are much more likely to vote than people that don't vote by mail. So instead of a turnout less than 10%, we can get a much higher turnout, which will only favor Democrats and progressives. Donald Trump has made it so that Republicans and conservatives think that voting by mail is of the devil. So we have nothing to lose by promoting it as much as we can. Also, I have very good information that every time someone registers to vote by mail, Donald Trump's heart skips a beat. So all we need to do is sign up 60 people in 1 minute, and our problems will be over. So, see your way out, get one of these, wear it everywhere you go, wear it when you sleep, wear it when you shower, wear it all the time, and talk to everybody you know, get them to vote by mail. Thank you.
Okay, so last thing I want to talk about was the results of our 1 Million Rising exercise, the one we did 2 weeks ago. And could I have the next slide? There's a better one, please. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. What we want to do is these were, you'll see the results on your table, sort of the full list. So I took everybody's little pieces of paper and wrote them down into the full list. So if you want to see that, and then I sort of distilled that list into these things. Biggest thing is know your rights. Well, not they're all big, but know your rights cards. Okay, we've got those red cards out. Please take them, start distributing them. Whether it's to your lawn service, if you're, just anywhere in the community, those cards need to go out. And so we need to really push so that everybody knows their rights, and it just has to happen. The second thing was Fort Bliss demonstration. We're working with Indivisible, the 915, to figure out exactly how we're going to go and do some type of protesting there at Fort Bliss. And also, we're working on some type of protesting type of thing at the Otero Detention Center. That one is sort of like in the middle of nowhere, so how do we could stand there, but then that doesn't get you as much publicity. So there's a group of us from immigration here, our immigration group. We've expanded it to TRC, Silver City, Albuquerque. We've got a representative from our group. The meeting that we had, this weekend, we've got more people involved. So we're going to get some really good ideas and really good action steps. So that's going to be something that's going to be important. The Moral Monday Vigils. I thought that was a very interesting one because one of those pillars is, I don't want to say religious, but that type of a pillar is important. And where is the faith community? That's what I meant to say. The faith community is one of those pillars. And I honestly don't see a lot of our faith community out there saying this is morally wrong. Whether it's morally wrong for immigration, morally wrong for cutting Medicaid, morally wrong for the LGBT community, or any marginalized group that has been attacked. I don't hear them coming out and being very aggressive. And so if you know, except I do know Daniel is a former minister, he has been retired minister. He's been great. People here at First Christian have been great. But if you know, minister, rabbi, priest, whatever, let's see if we could put together a Moral Mondays vigil. What do you think about that?
Yes.
Now, who would be interested in helping to coordinate that? Okay, Daniel? Okay. Daniel's our man. Jan, and anybody else that wants to. The first step could be inviting them to our August rally. There's the faith community needs to support workers. Workers are under attack. Unions are being under attack. So let's get the faith community out, and if they want to wear their collar, their stole, let them start to be visible. And I think that's where we have to push that.
So let me just mention, Pam, that two of the groups have been sort of having this conversation or wanting to start this conversation. One was the Latinos and Allies Moving Forward. We've been talking about the Christian white nationalists. And also with our political conversation group, Politics and Peace of Mind, I kind of mentioned this, that I was going to send out a link to Stacey Abrams' podcast. If you have not seen any of her podcasts, it's called Assembly Required. You can see this on YouTube. Assembly Required with Stacey Abrams. And she has two clergy people on there, and they're talking exactly about this, and I found it very uplifting. I've watched it 2.5 times already. I just, if I need to get it a lift, to say, I'm not crazy.
Okay, no, that's excellent. So if we could somehow put together a Moral Monday vigil and then get our faith leaders to come out to our protests, I think that would be a great first start. The next thing that was on everybody's mind was voter registration. And we're going to have a table at Pride. We've already got that all set up. We have a volunteer who's going to do some voter registration. We've got, well, I don't have one right with me, but we've got now our tags that we can go out to everybody. So please register voters. And that means also we're going to try to increase the student voting. We've been working with a small group of the students that are activists who have been coming to our meetings to work on some ideas on how to increase the student vote at the registration and the vote at an MSU. So if you've got any, and Doniana Community College, that's another one. So wherever we can get people registered to vote, that's important. We got a volunteer who said that she would help provide rides for voters.
I have,
hold on.
Okay.
Here's a comment, question.
Yes.
We're going to do a voter registration day, National Voter Registration Day at NMSU. We're setting up 5 tables there, and we're working with ASNMSU, and it's going to be a real good turnout. So we're very excited about that.
Do you know when that date is?
Tuesday, September 16th. If you're a voter registration agent, you should have already gotten a notice about it, and we've signed up probably 70% of the slots that are available. Yeah.
Where's it going to be at?
There's 5 different tables at NMSU campus, and so there'll be, it's on the Sign Up Genius list that voter registration agents get on a regular basis.
Yep. So our job now is to promote that opportunity for the students to get registered. So if you know any students, the other thing is also the high schools. Maybe there's some opportunity that we need to mail some type of not a list, but something to the guidance counselors about maybe setting up a registration day that the high schools, the 18-year-olds can register. And yes, we want to do the college kids, but you got 18-year-olds in the high school. So if anybody wants to start thinking about that and putting a plan together so that we can then get it out to everybody with some specific dates and what we want to do, let's start thinking about that. Because voter registration is going to be very important.
And it's easy.
Yeah, and we have amongst our own group here in Indivisible a nice amount of people who are the VRAs who can do that, voter registration agents. Yes.
Yes, I had a question. I have a question for the sign-up sheet. Where can people go? Because I've had questions asking, well, how do I sign up for that? Do they have to go to the VRA to the? Are you a VRA? I am, but I'm asking for other people. I get the notices, but I'm asking about people that want to join that. But how do they sign up for it? They have to go to the county, right?
Hold on.
Right, we can't, everybody can't hear, so either we gotta take this offline or.
Okay,
So to become a VRA, you need to go to the Duncan County Government Building on Motel, and they'll be more than happy to give you training. Maybe it takes 20 minutes or so. Once you're a VRA, then you go on the list of Duncan County VRAs, which right now has about 341 people on it. And then you will get the notices that I send out on a regular basis about naturalization ceremonies, the National Voter Registration Day. We do a lot of senior outreach too for the high schools too. We coordinate that with the school system. There's a couple of people there, so that's all happening, and we welcome as many people as we can get.
Okay. Okay, so that's good on the voter registration with the schools. We have one woman who's already agreed to provide ride for voters, so closer to the time of the election, we'll probably start getting a list of people who could provide rides for anybody, whether it's a single mom who's got a couple kids and would have a hard time getting there, or any seniors or stuff like that. So we want to definitely provide that opportunity of some rides and have it throughout the city so that everybody has an option. So think about, and we'll coordinate this a little bit better when we get there closer to the election time, but that's a good idea of helping people get out and do the voting. Another one that came out was the no ice signs in businesses. Now, if you attended any of the 1 Million Rising trainings, they now have 2 different versions of a no ice sign. And what they're asking us to do, and we could create our own, I would prefer we create our own, but a no ice sign, and we basically go out to businesses and ask them to put that no ice sign in their window. The other part of that is there's another one that says staff only, and they put that in a specific place in their business, so staff is behind. If the ICE people, they get an idea that ICE is coming, those people who are at risk go behind where this area is with the staff only, and ICE cannot go back there without the warrant. Okay, so it's another opportunity to help our undocumented friends and neighbors and colleagues that need help right now from us. And we're the ones who can do it because we have that privilege and opportunity. So we're going to try to get together. Phil is our creative guy. He and his group can probably maybe do some ideas about doing some no ice posters. We can then circulate those, even if you just take 2 or 3 flyers and stuff like that and talk to businesses. And they said that there's been, Indivisibles that have been done this, and they've been very receptive. The businesses have been very receptive and been asking, how can we help? Because they just don't know what to do. And so if we came in there with a, no ice sign, staff only sign, and a couple know your rights cards that they could pass out to their staff who need them, that could make a huge difference in our community. What do you think about that?
Yes, great idea.
Okay. You're all ideas. I'm just trying to move these things forward so we can act. I guess the idea is we've got to do some action. We've done a lot of talking, we've done a lot of things, but now, as Janice said, we got to start doing some more good trouble.
And the secondary benefit of this also is that we will know what businesses are blue.
I'll spend my money there.
Yes.
There you go. We'll know which businesses are blue, who to patronize, and who not to. Okay? We've been trying to do this. We do have like a small list that has been posted on Facebook for numerous times, but this will be a great way to add to that.
Yeah, and that feeds into the next one, is support locally owned businesses that are, friendly for our cause. The other one is letters to the editor. So if you are, a good writer or want to write, start writing letters to the editor. If you need some ideas, we We can talk about it at one of our postcard type of thing, what you can say, because they got to publish those and they got to read, we can read them. So that's an important thing. And then as Mary puts together her list of the school board meetings and the ones that we need to attend and show our support like we have in the past, we'll be getting that information out to you. And then show up at the city council meetings. There's going to be some, like just like what's happened now with Doñana County and this bond issue, or go bond that, $1 billion they want to do. We have to show up, and that's an easy thing to do. So we'll be sending out information about whether it's the Doñana County or when Mary thinks that it's an appropriate time for us to show our support at the school board, and because they were extremely grateful we were there, and we want to keep that, and that shows them the support. And the city council meetings, so that our city council remains blue with the candidates that we want. So if you haven't taken a picture of that, or if you got the information, let's start being actionable and get some of this stuff done. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. And then our next, yes, you got a question?
So just for clarity, but the county is running they're thinking of running $140 million GO bond as part of this upcoming November election. But that's not the data center.
Right, that is correct. Yes.
Okay, because I thought you just said them in the same sentence.
I'm sorry.
I am personally going to be at the county in the morning around 9 o'clock and start counting some commissioners wanting to see what they're about to present to us. I can tell you that there's a data center in Tennessee that Elon Musk is paying to have methane generators to help drive the electricity for those centers. Now, you want to be sucking on methane fumes, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know what's happening here. I know that in Los Lunas, New Mexico, there is a data center. And if you've just driven up I-25 and you notice all the solar panels and battery packs that are there, those are for that data center in Los Lunas. It'll be interesting to see who owns the property where they want to build the data center. I've got a lot of questions.
Mark them down.
I want to follow the money on this one.
Absolutely.
Can we ask for or demand a community and resource impact study before they do something like this?
Well, that'll be the questions we have to ask, or in their presentation as they start to tell us what's going on. It has been so quiet and under the radar, we don't have a lot of good information. That's why we need to be there.
A week ago, More Perfect Union, they do podcasts and things like that, political stuff, but they posted a 11.5-minute long video called Amazon's Secret Plot to Build a Data Center in the Desert. How did a community beat Jeff Bezos? So it's how they stopped it from being built in Tucson. And it makes me suspect that the reason they're wanting to come here now is because Tucson said no.
Okay, yeah, they said more AI, but who knows who's behind it? Definitely it could give us an opportunity to take their process and muck up the works here. All right, any last minute questions? We're at about time.
I just wanted to add to the conversation that we should not accept anything that doesn't create jobs. We are very high in poverty in this state, and we should not support anything coming in that doesn't create a job for our people.
Absolutely. And a good job, a good paying job, with good wages and healthcare benefits. Any other last minute questions? As usual, everybody's been awesome. Thank you very much. And hope to see you at the poster and postcards on the 28th. Remember August 30th, bring a friend. And thank you for all your support.
And volunteers, if I volunteer, I'll be out of the foyer. And I also need volunteers